My personal interest in this forum links back to my understanding of the importance of neurodiversity and the growing interest that I have in neuroeducation. We know so much more about the way in which our young people's brains work, and yet hardly any of it feeds into our education system, let alone the assessment system. And so I want this conversation, this discussion, this investigation, this evidence-based programme of work that we're doing to be able to start feeding in all of the things we now know about why our young people are as they are, the way in which they are approaching the world, and particularly what is important for them in terms of the post-COVID world. So my personal interest comes from a growing understanding of neurodiversity, the importance of neuroplasticity, and what that should be feeding into our education system. I've been working in education now for quite a number of years, although it wasn't my first career. And what I know now is that we all have so many different aspects to our understanding. I work with schools, I work with HMC, I work with ASCL, I'm on the ASCL Council, and I'm also the elected representative of the Chartered College of Teaching. We've got so many different things going on. We all are interested in the same output here. What should we be doing as schools and educators to help our young people to be able to both understand their own learning, to become lifelong learners, and to transition into the world of work, university, and wherever that they are most comfortable going with their lives. So professionally, this is a conversation that we all need to have, and we need to have it as soon as possible. What we're trying to achieve through organising this forum is to really open the debate. We don't expect to have answers, although if we did, it would be great. But what we want to know is what questions should we be asking and who should we be talking to. So by inviting a wide variety of stakeholders, educators, parents, students, teachers, and really looking in a way which is very much more open than maybe we've ever been able to look before at what we do and why we do it. So it's about really having that forum where it's all right to ask the difficult questions. It's all right to say we don't know the answers, and hopefully we will come up with some ways to get to those things in a format that's going to make sense to everybody, where everybody's going to feel involved. We're going to be collaborative, we're going to be working together, and we will be able to forge a future which will be both good for our young people and good for us as educators and as society. Why I believe this is really important at the moment is that there have been so much going on in our lives and in our young people's lives. We know that our adolescents are immensely resilient, are able to adapt to any sort of circumstances. And that's great and fantastic, although we also know that so many mental health problems, virtually all mental health problems, start in adolescence. So we as the adults in this situation, in this conversation, need to be able to make sure that we are providing the right environment to enable our young people to thrive for the future. Because we also know that the assessment systems that we've used to date are really no longer fit for purpose. And we have a responsibility, given what we've all been through, particularly our young people, to make sure that going forward they are fit for purpose, that they're not putting unnecessary stress on to get an assessment which is actually not really very useful to anyone. But that we're measuring the right things, that we're providing the right environment for those measurements to be taken, and that they are the kind of things that need to be or can be used for the future in all sorts of different ways. Our young people need it, we have a responsibility to them. We as a society need it. We're all going to come through this in a way which is strong, but we need to make sure that we're putting in place the right measures to facilitate our growth so that we can all flourish for the future.